All right. All right. So, another Vicenza podcast. Sean Dempsey and the super famous, super athletic.
Formerly athletic.
Yeah, former. There's a good one. There's a good point. So,
if the thumb counts, highly athletic with the remote.
Right. Yeah. We carried our weight, even if it was less, 100 years ago, decades ago, class of 1989.
I know. It's wow. It's sometimes it's so real and sometimes it's so far away. I went to Google Earth and I was just poking around because I haven't been back since 91 or 2. And it looked like these buildings had changed. Anyways, it's just so surreal sometimes.
When was the last time you went back, or how many times have you been back to Italy since 1989?
Once I went back after the army. My dad had moved up, and my mom had moved up to Germany, and so I came back on leave from Fort Irwin. 91. So it was, I was like 20.
Yeah.
And went down and I ran into Saga Newland. She was working at the car rental, the little box right outside the cinema.
The movie theater.
And I was chatting her up, and that was it. I mean, that was really the only person I really ran into that I can remember. And that was kind of mind blowing. It was like, wait a second, the set looks right, but the characters are wrong.
Right.
And by then, it's funny how all of our reputations faded. Do you know me? Do you know so who? Because all the rotation of a lot of the military people. So, yeah, boy, your fame wanes pretty quickly.
Yeah, you make your way with your tail between your legs, walking into the high school, and then graciously someone like Cleta Frigo says, "Hey, Sean! Hey, Jamie!" And you're like, "Yes!"
Yeah.
Teddy Spittle.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Teddy Spittle has he has a cute way of remembering. He goes back pretty frequently, which is great. He's in real estate, and I think his branch is called Tesoro, which is an Italian word. I'll let everybody look that up who doesn't know it. But anyway, so Teddy's favorite was Coach Dempsey, and he would he'd come into the school, and everybody would just be like, "Oh, he's in the gym." There wasn't even a "Hey, hi, how you doing?" like a conversational engagement. He said people just knew, we know where you want to go. So, you know where to go. So, but you walk into the school and things are changed. They're gone. And I haven't been back I went back to Vicenza, but I didn't go on base. And that was maybe a couple of years ago. I had a great time down in Rome with Brian Jansing, my wife, and some Italian friends, and Tracy Brown too, which was a classic. We had a blast. It was great to just get together, and that felt really good being in Rome. To me, I think that it's the who you're with kind of thing. The base is the base. I do miss having the gym. The facilities, like those pools. Everything here you got to pay for, and nothing comes close to that kind of quality. And it's like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, we were so spoiled. If you price a vacation these days, right? It's $5-10 a week to go anywhere.
Yeah, Disney.
We were there for years. Yeah, we had like $1 million vacation.
Yeah. We had so much going on over there. Such a good time. So
I have a Tracy Brown story for you, real quick. And Tracy Brown, her sister. And Katie Sutton, I was brand new, like fresh off the plane, 1986. So I had not even entered school, moved to Italy from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I knew nobody. And I'm not sure how I ran into Tracy. It was on the base, maybe at the welfare center, something like the morale center. And she's like, "Hey, you new here, kid?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I have no idea what's going on in Italy." She's like, "Look, we're going to it was a nude beach on the train. If you said the name,
Jesolo.
It was on the Venice side.
Jesolo.
That's it. They didn't tell me. So, we go and I went to 3 of them. I was so happy to have friends, people talking to me, and they were really kind to me. And we get to the beach, and I look down. There's Italian woman with no clothes on. And I'm like 16, going, oh my God! It was just quite a culture shock, and they were pretty good. And they kind of they were used to it, and they were really good ambassadors. And they taught me what toast was, and it's more than a grilled cheese sandwich.
We talked about that on the Goldsteins one. It was JD like toast. Getting a toast at a auto grill at a gas station. People did not trust or believe what we had to say about that. I actually just came across a picture, and I'll share it.
Find a cappuccino, dude. You still cannot find a cappuccino in this country. Save your life.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Or it comes at the cost of an arm and a leg. By the way, I don't think it was a nude. I don't think it was a nude beach. I think it was just a regular beach. But topless.
Whatever. Yeah.
I have my memories too. Those that Jesolo is a story for a lot of people. It used to be the summer camp, a couple of weeks. Kids would be at this summer camp. I mean, Jenny Pellerito was a camp counselors. The earners. Geez, I all the names coming out. I was a counselor at one point too, I think. But man, just long-term memories. I remember having the bonfires and just that Italian living, and it was actually so close to Venice, which and today is remarkable.
Yeah, well, just the whole experience, for a new person, you never left the country really, and just riding the train and speaking in Italian and they were speaking in Italian. I was listening. Getting the ticket, just ordering lunch. It was just the whole time you're just in drinking from a fire hose of experience.
What did you think of the food? The first, what was your first memory of it? Wow, what is this? This is not pizza or something. What was that first experience?
It was amazing. I mean, I remember outside of Bellagio, can't remember the name of it. I Googled it the other day. Ristorante something, and it was just it took forever. I remember we walked in, we'd been there maybe a month or two. We sit down, we get the menu, and we order pizza. One. It comes out about that big. And we're like, this is it, and then it took a half hour, and we devoured it, and we're like, we're still hungry, so we ordered 2 or 3 more, and we realized they were personal pizzas, and just that. But I loved it, loved the whole thing. I think there was nothing food-wise in Italy I think I ever tasted I didn't care for.
Yeah. I keep seeking that
horse tartare. Yeah.
What was that?
Horse tartare. Yeah, we had that down in Naples. It was with Drak, Coach Drak. We were we must have been on a wrestling thing, and he gave us a little bit of a leash, especially as we got older. Seniors, and he's like, look, man, just don't get in trouble, don't make the blotter, don't, show up on time, don't corrupt the little ones, And so we went out, we found this restaurant we were eating, and we found it was horse, and that was kind of terrible for me. But other than that, 98%, 99% Italian cuisine's amazing.
Yeah. So, I don't remember which team you played for, Drak or Dempsey. Which one was it?
Oh, played for both of them.
In football?
Yeah. There's an interesting story. I don't know if everyone knows this. Briefly, in 1986, Coach Drak was the coach of the regular 11-man football team. After we played, there were budget cuts, and they eliminated football in Europe, or at least Italy. That really upset 2 moms. One of them was Mrs. Richmond, Dave Richmond's mother, and the other one was Mrs. Hanson, my mother, who lived across the street. And these 2 women were 2 forces to be reckoned with. They'd sit out with wine outside and hatched a plan. Turns out that Command Sergeant Major Terry Watts, who was in charge of the 82nd Airborne, my dad was an E6 lower in that unit. They were friends, though. So Mrs. Richmond and my mom wrote this letter to President Reagan and handed it to Command Sergeant Major's wife, Glenda Watts, who was personal friends with Reagan's personal doctor back in D.C. So, voila, win-win for the Gipper. apparently Reagan saw it and said, absolutely no way are we going to have Americans not play football. And they came up with 8 men, the team split. So I did 1 year with Coach Drak and then the last 2 years with your dad.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just for people's awareness, because they may not know this, but Jamie was definitely a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he looked like the Hulk compared to every other regular average sized kid out there. He was like 6'4". I might be making you into a huge giant for all intents and purposes, but take it in.
About 4 inches.
But I just remember you with a football in one of the games, you know, I'm not going to say barreling. You had like 5 guys on you, and you were carrying them with you down the field.
Yeah.
And these are, you know, the great days of. But it was just that kind of thing. It's like, that's what you get from you. And David Richmond, on the other hand, was so fast. It was just like, football.
Yeah, man. The guy can move.
He was just like, which side are you going to go, left or right? And okay, another touchdown. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I remember one time, I don't know how I caught like an interceptor or something and ran for a while, whatever. And I remember going home and my mom had filmed it. And I go, man, did you see me catch that? I was bobbing and weaving. She goes, you ran straight like a track. You didn't move at all. And so, yeah. I thought I was bobbing and weaving. But no, you know, that's the cool thing about Vicenza. I mean, we all, in some ways, I think got to be a big fish in a small pond. For me, I got to do football. But I mean, you know, now minus playing the Italians at soccer, they were amazing. You know, we'd play other schools, right? Not that we did.
Were you the goalie? Do I remember?
I was a backup goalie.
Brian Lusty?
Yeah. First for Shaw.
Okay, John Shaw. Nice shout out.
Yeah, and John Shaw and I were friends, and at that point, and then Brian Lusty, and then the third year I switched over to track for your dad, and did the shot put and discus, I think. So yeah, but the point is, you know, for each of us, whether it was, you know, the newspaper or, you know, track or cross country or whatever it was, it allowed you to be a big fish in a small pond, whatever that could be sometimes for some people.
No, I agree.
I did appreciate that.
No, you know, I mean, to your point, and you've got kids, right? How old are they? What age?
22, 18, and 15 and a half.
Okay. Do you think they got a chance close to what you got to experience in that sense? Or did they go to big schools?
No, I mean, in fact, I've been very heavily involved in coaching baseball, football, girls softball, and been on the boards, in fact. And around 12 to 14 is when the hockey stick of disenrollment drops. So, you know, when I tell my kids, oh yeah, I played football and I did wrestling and I did this, and they're like, what? I mean, you know, they only get one sport here.
Yeah.
Connor, my oldest, did get something in 2012. We were on ESPN doing the Little League stuff. So
nice.
That to me is pretty impressive for him. I put that pretty amazing, but that was it. And then he just kind of 14, he was done. And so yeah. My youngest daughter Emma plays softball. She's varsity softball, but
nice.
But it's really hard, really competitive. There's 4 junior varsity teams that kind of whittle into one, and here the school was they were the U.S. High school champions the last 3 out of 5 years. So it's like crazy competitive. So we're trying to groom her to, you know, hey, you may not make varsity, you know, and it's okay, you know, you're not a bad person, you know.
Right.
But to your point, it hurts. It hurts. The sports here are kind of elite, you know.
It's hard. You're right. I mean, I mentioned it on the Goldstein podcast. I'm like, you know, I got a lot of confidence and joy out of being dedicated to sports in Italy. It
was great.
Memories, you know, crazy numbers of memories and such, but don't think our kids get that opportunity. I mean, my son, you know, he's maybe in the top 20, 30 in basketball. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
You know, that's going to be hard to come around and get a chance. Like, you're going to really, it's like a Rudy story, right? You're going to have to work really hard and really, really want it more than you wanted anything else. And this is basketball. I mean, he's he's a bit of a shoe-in with football, ironically. I mean, he's a big kid, good stature, good solid size, like I was.
But you
Probably,
did volleyball, basketball, and soccer, right? That was
yeah,
your
I
main.
did. I did.
Like you, there you go. 3 sports, 3 varsity sports. That's almost unheard of in today's world, right?
Yeah. And so I walk with that kind of confidence and that kind of conversation, and
Right.
I'm happy to share it and impart it. But this is a little bit different, right? It's like, well, it's his first time at a big school, freshman going in, and now with COVID, it's an additional, will it happen? Will it be regular? And all I really care about is that socialization wise, he's a happy kid, and
Right.
you do your best under the circumstances. And in general, he is, but I'd love to get to the chance to see him succeed on the field, which it's not an intention to force. It's just a question of, will you get that or not? But I do see a lot of my father in him, just to kind of share on that point. He's got my dad's brain, statistical analysis. He knows all the players. He knows all the statistics. We talk strategy. It's great to have that. It's just will we have more? We'll see. And he's just going in as a freshman, so he's excellent with schoolwork. Like I don't want to say anything because I imagine it's gonna change, but he's like during this COVID stuff, you get your homework on Monday, and he'd do it all right away. Just gets going, does it all with his friends or whatever, a couple of friends, and they barrel through it. And then because the reward is you get the rest of the week to kind of fluff off or whatever. And at least that's how he sees it. And he's just like, all right, good. So I find it funny, by the way, just to share with folks, that the term college prep is the term for the standard course or something. It sounds to me like you're taking a college level version of the course, be it college prep English or something. I'm like, because we didn't have that in Vicenza. We just had, we had some pretty amazing, classes in my recollection, world literature, like Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy and stuff like that people don't even read in college. And it's like,
Right.
hope you get something out of it. But anyway.
Well, I put college prep on my resume early, and when I was, in college, trying to get a job, and it just, I talked to a recruiter, and they were like, "Well, yeah, it's not really a thing. It's more of a, philosophy. Were you prepping for college?" And I'm like, "Well, kinda. I just didn't do really well," and so I put it down. So, as opposed to, a general high school diploma, it's spin, it's marketing.
It is.
I don't think it is. Nowadays, though, kids are getting credit. Like Emma, she's was a freshman last year in high school, and she's about to be a sophomore, and she's already got 6 semester credits in college through, the local community college thing that's and so kids these days can, she literally can graduate high school almost with an associate's. That's mind-boggling. Yeah. I mean, I had to go 2 years after the Army to get that.
Nice.
And I had to pay for it.
Right. So let's talk some Vicenza stuff. I know that we have some pictures we want to share with folks and kind of go down some memory lane around our era. But let me pepper you with some questions and see what you remember or what you.
It's like Karnak or no.
Yeah. Let's see what you get. All right. Favorite movie that you went to the movie theater, probably saw it more than once, probably the same day. What was that movie?
Boy, Top Gun was a big one, man.
Nice.
That's probably the one that stands out. I think made about half of us want to join.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. And now the sequel finally comes out.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Good. Ghostbusters was mine. So like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's been fun sharing those with my son and so forth. All right. sports wise, what were your sports again? What did you do typically?
Football and wrestling all the years, and then I did soccer for the sophomore, junior year. Switched to track in my senior year, and then we did baseball. And we went to Heidelberg. Yeah, so I did all, I don't know, 4 or 5. I was pretty. I mean, I went to school to play sports, not learn, which was wrong.
Yeah,
I graduated 55 in my class. I think we had 58.
Yeah, right. I thought we only had 50, but
I graduated 55 out of 50. That's how bad I was.
Matt McGorder remembered the Heidelberg story. So he watched the Goldstein podcast, and he's like, "Do you remember that trip to Heidelberg?" I'm like, "I don't know, really," but he remembered a couple details, and then it kind of brought them together for me. And I was like,
I have
"Yeah, I
some
remember."
pictures in the box somewhere here.
Yeah, like we were on a shuttle bus, freaking,
We were on a green pickle, a green square.
Yeah, and we stayed at like Grafenwehr, which was like having like fake war practice or whatever it's called. Like literally, you try to go to sleep at 2 a.m. and there, you hear bombs going off and missiles and rifles. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, and I don't know if that's the same trip. I think it was. But
Yeah, no, that's spot on. Yeah, I remember because we were like in like the teen center or something on the mats.
Yeah.
And we drove up in the big green, the bus, the shuttle bus. It was a green shuttle bus.
Yeah.
And I remember they said, "Yeah, by the way, you might hear some things blowing up or whatever. Just don't worry. It's all just exercises." And kaboom. And
you're like, yeah, I just sleep through that, no problem. Like, what the hell? Yeah,
that's why we lost that game, I think.
Right.
All the artillery's fault.
Oh man, who did we have? We had was that Brian Kahn, Kevin Cadena, Craig Beck, Matt McGorder, going down the list.
Dave Richardson was the coach. He was the one that kind of put it all together. He passed away a few years ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was actually the senior ranking guy at his funeral at Mount Scott. He's buried at Portland, Oregon. Mount Scott. Guy didn't realize it, but at his service they rolled out what he had done, and he was my godfather, so I didn't know any of this stuff. And then they had some infantry guys that the cemetery said they all had to be combat guys. I mean, I was like, what was going on? And then they read all this stuff. He had like 2 silver stars and 2 MSMs, this crazy stuff. But anyways, he was a guy. He was a really good guy. He set it up. His wife Kathy Richardson were kind of made it happen for us. Got the van, got the stuff. But yeah, it was Brian Kahn, Matt McWhorter, Brian Gainey.
Yeah, Gainsey.
Gainsey, yeah, remember him? Yeah, he had a good glove. Yourself, myself, yeah, I'd have to kind of Kevin Cadena.
Yeah.
I think someone else played the outfield. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's kind of it's kind of a collective.
Starting to fail.
It's all there. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Good. So, favorite memories of Vicenza High School. What was there? What happened? What are you remembering? I know I should have prepped you before.
It's kind of in 3 spots. No question, Bellagio. It's where we lived. If for those of us that were on the military side,
we had a lot of FOMO for that.
Yeah, the pool, the shop at the walks at night. We had a lot of walks at night, probably a couple hundred. Just we had nothing to do. That would be one zone. The other zone is clearly high school. Just the hallways, the black bubble floors, the blue lockers, just the smell of the gym. I can still smell it. And I think probably the third zone would just be kind of like, the post office, the PX, the commissary, kind of where the Burger King, the movie theater,
Yeah.
And maybe the teen club 40, just kind of that area, just the base, that part of the base. Those zones are really, really fresh still on my mind. And when I go on Google and I look at things have changed, or like in Villaggio now, the schools where the
Oh
where I
yeah.
think like Ben Terrell used to live. I think that building's gone. I think his whole house is gone, and that's now stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of yeah. Anyways, I was kind of rambling, but that's kind of
No,
the
no, it's good. It kind of takes us down memory lane, you know. Here's I probably the entrance to base is probably not in the same place that it used to be. You know, they probably moved it on one side of the or another, but
that back road from Villaggio to Stonga looks like it's gone.
oh wow.
Yeah, there was always problems. Some kids would kill a chicken, and you have to pay for 7 chickens, and you know, oh yeah,
The rules, the Italian way. Oh man.
I need a little grease.
All right, teachers. What do you remember? Let's give a shout out to teachers in the sense of like sometimes we were able to say they imparted something, you know, and I don't mean that facetiously. There's some of the things they say come back to you even today, decades later.
Yeah, yeah.
What
No, I
comes to
don't want
mind?
to tear up. Lots of them.
Yeah.
Mr. Kleeb, Mr. Hakeem, your dad. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. Thank you. Yeah.
That's like Gary McGuire. You're not going to make me cry with the contract. No, Mr. Hakeem. He was hard on me, but he was good. Your dad, Drak. I remember Drak wrestling. He was like, "Hey man, you got this." He'd go help someone else. I mean, the confidence he instilled in me, I really appreciated. Mr. Goldstein for not being as harsh as he should have been. You know, I was an ass sometimes.
He was just,
and he is like, dude, I need this out of you, and you know, he was good. He was very gracious.
yeah.
Um,
So tell me about tell me about Kleeb. I'm thinking of Jeopardy. And
Jeopardy, yeah, Jeopardy. I was a terrible student. And that's the only class I got an A in, and your dad.
The funniest thing for me was how some of you guys took it on like an art form. Like literally you take the stars and stripes, you would like on paper, you would like write where the articles were, and then because he would shuffle the week's papers together into one deck, he'd hold them at his podium, and then he would turn and read an article. And I swear there was some competitors in our group, I think it was Kenny Schweener in particular, who he would like know what he was going to read and say because he could tell by his eyes and his movements and stuff, and he would like go at it and say something. I was always
dude, I think he's in the middle, he's on the right, I think it's Tuesday. You know, I saw the carrier on the front, that was on Tuesday. So he got so good though. He called us out. I remember in my senior year, he's like, he gets ready. It was Friday. I think it was on Fridays is when he did it. And he goes, "It's come to my attention that I may be telegraphing like a poker player some of my moves or what I'm reading. So I want you to know that the back cover is from last week." And so he would go get like a week or 2 weeks cover. And so we're like, crap, that's from, yeah. And he made it harder. But we could still say right side, right side. So we grab all 5 pages and look for the right side. But at the end of the day, you had to read the articles.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really what I think. Well, we miss that today. Our kids are so on our darn phones. He forced us to engage the world around us as best we could. We didn't have the internet. I mean, seriously, that paper was our connection to the home in the world. So I appreciate that the most. There was really not a bad teacher. I couldn't name a teacher that you know, I didn't in the hindsight appreciate. So
we wouldn't put names on that anyway right here.
No, but I'm genuine. I mean, even if I would, I'd say there's 1 or 2 I didn't get along with, and I would say that. But they're really, I mean, there were some that we had friction, but I mean, in hindsight, you know, it was me being a punky teenager and them trying to help me. So
yeah,
no, I do. Mr. Kleeb's probably the top, and then you know your dad and Drak, you know, just from the sports.
Yeah. So Kleeb for me, just to reminisce in there too. I mean, I should have taken economics, because when I was in college and I took economics, I just loved it. It was like, it's still a part of me. It's my kind of, yeah, it's like, it makes sense to me more than anything. So, but I remember I got to do part of the presidential debate, and I really didn't have any sense of politics. I really had no sense of anything. I tried. I worked hard at it, but it was only personality that I was sharing, and that's all that mattered up there on the stage. It just seemed like I won the crowd, but when I give a lot of credit to our both sides. I think it was Gina Valletta, Paul. I forget Paul's last name. Paul Chapman.
No.
Paul
Don't
Cheatham.
make me pull out the yearbook.
Paul Cheatham.
Oh yeah, Paul Cheatham. Okay, yeah.
Paul Uhuru III Cheatham. He was great, smart guy, talented athlete, but also
he was pretty smart as I remember. Yeah.
What's his name? Drew was on the other side. He was just an absolute brain. Like I'd love to know where he is today. He was incredible with computers. He was articulate. He knew the politics. I think they had Jason Schaff on their team as well. But I mean, he probably knew the politics better than anybody. And it took me a long time before I realized what was going on in the politics. But I remember getting set up there on stage. I was all excited.
Oh, you want to get into politics? No, just kidding.
No, yeah, let's do that. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, well, you're a guy. No, just kidding.
Right. So anyway, it was great. But then we had a test that day. I'm like, I haven't had time to study for a test. I'm like, I don't know what I did on that test, but anyway, that was that. And I also remember later on, just to tease Mr. Kleeb, I hope he does see this. I know his daughter Sean will see it. Scott, I don't think makes it on social media, and I hope someday his politics come back. I mean, he's such a well-groomed, talented person.
Well, I'm going to get an HR violation for this one, so yeah, not appreciate that.
So, I remember Mr. Kleeb just decided somewhere around our senior year, he started to hit the gym for whatever reasons. And I remember, his arms were like this, it was just, I was like, whatever, I liked Mr. Kleeb. I was a faculty member's kid. I liked all the teachers, so it's fine, whatever. That's actually an interesting point, just a side tangent. Being growing up, that your environment is, everybody, all the faculty members, you kind of understand that whole system, a lot of different people. I had that translation into corporate America, which was strange because it's not that way.
But you guys had a different view than we did. I mean, we were in and out for 3 years. You guys had you guys being the civilian side of the equation had a long game, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, and Johnny Kohut's there now. I don't know. I told you about that. We've chatted before.
Well, I was heading that direction until COVID. So yeah, that was my doll. I still got $1. I'm waiting to buy a house in Italy.
Oh, one of those places. Yeah. I you know what? When all this shit blows over someday, look, the first place I really want to go is Italy with my son and my wife, and that's just where I'm at. So But
the economy helped the people. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, there's
and go sit.
Yeah, the food, the people. So you made an interesting point about traveling in Venice, like your first trip with the Browns and it was Katie Sutton. So my wife and I went a couple of years ago, and we're on the train and we're heading to Vicenza, I think. And unfortunately, we were sitting next to some Americans, and the sense of unfortunate here is I wanted to my brain wanted nothing more than Italian. All I wanted to hear was Italian, right? Immersing myself in Italian conversations. We were on a bus, then we got to a train. On the bus, I'm listening to 2 old ladies talking about someone's security, door opened up, and the story was just futile, nothing going on, whatever. But they were speaking in Italian, and it just put me at ease, made me comfortable. Like a part of my brain was like taking off and going. And I was happy. Then we're on the train, and I'm listening to some pompous ass talking about the beautiful, and the greatest, and I'm just like, I really didn't come to Italy to hear you talk in American English here. I really just want to hear Italian. and that's it.
Yeah.
So, and whatever, but I obviously did get that, and
we're not the best travelers.
Yeah. Some countries really tell us that, though. But the Italians in general, they tend to love us for what we do. Which by the way, I found Venice. It's an international city now. Just a lot of the big cities are international cities. They're not. Yeah. It's not like the Italian Venice of my childhood. It's an international city because you know what, people sell out for the right reasons and move on, and everybody's got a price. But again, I know.
I have a quick vignette. My senior year, I was working some SCB stuff and got connected with some of the soldiers. And, young guys, they're only a couple of years older than us. So Ed Flores and I went to Venice, and Raposo kicked in. We weren't quite used to it. So suddenly, walking around, all the doors start shutting down. And, it's maybe 1:30, almost pushing 2, something like that. Mm-hmm. And we kind of hear this banging and stuff, and the shop's open. And there's nothing else going on in Venice. So we pop our head in, and it's this old guy, with a gondola, with a wood hoe, shaping the gondola and banging. And we knock on the door, and he looks up, and he's like, "Oh, no, shut the door," and my friend spoke Italian. So he translated, and basically the guy was like, "Oh crap, I didn't realize it was past. I'm gonna get fined again." So he shut the door. Well, we're inside the building, so it's like, what happens? Well, he just continued to work, and his wife brought out food and pasta, and it was like this magical experience. And then he started explaining the shape, and it bends a little to the right if you're a righty, and you'll never get that. And so that's an amazing, And then we sat there and drinking, eating, and then I don't know, 4 o'clock happened, the doors opened up, and we left and went home. And wow. And that's an Italian just saying, "Hey, come in, man." In Germany, they'd shut the door and say, "Hey, go home. Come back tomorrow."
So, all right, you get your wish. Here's your wish. You're going back to Italy. What does it look like? What is that add the whole picture? What is it that you want? You want to go back in time? You want to go back tomorrow? I mean, without COVID, whatever.
But it's the people. I would take the people first. So if the people today, I would take that if they were back in time. But it's the people. Like I said, we went back. I went back 2 years after. It was great to see Saga, but then it was who else? And no one knew who we were. And so no, it's the people. It's the people and the time.
Yeah.
But I do plan to go back. I do tend to go and take the family and just right now.
Yeah. I don't think you can make it across the border for some reason, but
No, not legally. I don't want to have a Walter Mitty moment. It was cheap airfare.
Good. All right. What else is coming to mind here?
Speaking of Vicenza, you want to pop up? I can pop up a picture.
Yeah. Bring up let's look at some photos. Let's go back memory lane here.
Let me share this. Here is a photo. Let me know when you see that guy.
I see a big thing of photos. Go for it.
Well, a big thing of photos. Well, let me try to share just that photo.
Amy Gibson.
Name those people in the foreground, of course.
Amy Gibson and Jennifer Jones.
Winner, chicken dinner. That's correct. That's circa 86, 87.
Hair day. Big hair girls. Rock and roll. All right.
Yeah, I love the 80s.
So Jennifer lives up here in New England.
Yeah, I got to see her in 96. I was working for Oracle, and I went there for some training in Waltham and got to see her briefly, and she was just as friendly and bubbly as I remember.
Nice. I might have her on a podcast. I don't know where Amy is, though.
Yeah, I haven't kept in touch with Amy either, so I don't know. There's an old picture, Mr. Hakeem, right? So you always had your camera with you on these trips.
Right. Everybody feels that trigger. You're about to get judged. He's gonna say that you've got too many lines, power lines and stuff in the picture. But points because it's black and white.
There's another one. Oh, there's another person.
Don't remember her name. Vasco or something.
Oh, my God.
Blasco? I don't know.
I'm gonna have to pull my yearbook, so I'm gonna owe her an apology. It was there. These are
romantic Jamison. Oh,
that's the front yard in Bellagio, Mr. Hakeem. I was just trying to take some photos. Okay, there's the picture. Now, isn't that Mrs. Hakeem?
Yep. Odetta.
And isn't that
library?
Thomas Borso's big head in the left there?
Nice.
And I think, isn't that one of the dads there in the right straight there in the kind of the center of the picture?
Don't know.
Yeah. I think that's Amy Gibson.
Right. And that's Miss Rafosco giving her the and that's Chris Rayburn in the bottom left.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That actually might be Amy's father. He's connected to the runners somehow. I can't remember. And isn't that Mr. Goldstein there at the left?
That's Andrew for sure. And that looks like Mr. Abbott. Thinking. Mr. Abbott with the glasses.
Yep. By the way, folks, I'll make these available if anyone that wants them. They're free to alumni, of course. I was taking a picture, and Amy and I were friends, and then I went out and took pictures of these guys running. And
out in Vicenza, in our neck of the woods, though?
Yeah, this was a home meet.
Yeah, a Sermignone or whatever. Lisa Rolick has mentioned the name of the place, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember it either.
That kind of looks like Kathy Summers to me, but kind of.
So this would have been 88?
Okay.
87.
So to your point, Amy Gibbons. Am I swapping their last names? I could.
This is Amy Gibson. Amy Gibbons was in Venice.
Okay.
If my memory's working. I haven't taken my Centrum 50 today, so. This is another photo.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got? Okay.
There's a crew.
Yeah. All right, keep going. Lifeguarding.
Oh, yeah, let's skip through that one. Let's skip through that. You know what? Suzanne Trisco took this. This is what she coached. This is Suzanne Trisco's fault. Sit there and look like you're contemplating something. So I just tried to look. She was on the shower window a lot.
I know you're in Villaggio. I know you're near my favorite pool. And who's this doing what?
Boy, I don't remember. It was one of the kids, and I didn't do a very good job grabbing the frame speed, so that's why it's blurry. But yeah, I can't remember.
Funny. I love that pool.
Right side pool. Yeah, that one's. There she is. I actually took that one first, and then she goes, "Give me your damn camera. Go sit over there and sit down." I took a photography class. She started just getting funny.
Yeah.
And said, "Sit down there. I took a class with Mr. Hakeem." So she was just acting like she could take a better photo than me. So
she's fun.
Yeah, she was.
I saw her at a mini reunion in DC a long time ago with John Teska, Tracy Brown, Amy Horn, and then Tom Pratt. I mean, we were married, so I think they lived in Florida. But yeah, so
yeah, the class just a little ahead of me, but yep, I remember all those names. And then there's Mr. Hakeem in Venice.
Christy Rokas to the top right.
Christy Rokas on the right. John Teska
right
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that maybe that's Julie Mikolajczyk to his left?
Yeah, kind of looking. Both John and Julie are looking back. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I think who's that taking the picture next to Rokas? It's he was a wrestler.
James Cameron?
Yep, James Cameron. Thank you.
Look at me.
Man, you're oh, there you go.
Hey.
That's a pretty
that's a good one. So you got Brad to the left. I think you've got the female is Julie Foray, first one in the kind of the left. And then you got Brad McCoy, blonde, looking down.
Yep, that's Brad.
Brad married his sweetheart, Allison Schmidt. They've been together forever, Florida. Heather, twin sister down there. They're all in that neck of the woods.
Yeah, Heather and I were running partners. I was getting ready for the Army, and she was doing track, so we would get up, man, like 5:36 sometimes, crack of dawn. I'd always run over to her house and pick her up, and then we go run like a couple miles, and it damn near killed me every time, but it helped me get in shape. So, yeah.
That's a ton. And I'm Jamie Pellerito, one of my
Oh,
buddies.
yeah, there's Jamie, yep.
Yeah. I don't know if that could be Emily Terrell, if I'm guessing. Then
Amy Schaaf, because she was older than we were, so this is 88.
Yeah.
And then Amy Gibson is right there with her back turned just to the left of Polita. Polita name comes in last name with the Vicenza jacket. And then her brother, I think, is there to the right. There's Borsos off to the right.
Yeah, and then what's that? That's Marco Monti.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Heather Van Gorder on the left, just in front of Julie Foray.
Yes.
Yeah, to
I
the
think
left.
so. Yeah. So I think this is the class of 88.
No, it's a mix. It's a mix. You got
88.
You got 90, 91, you got 89, it was probably taken in 88.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I think this was an 88 photo in Venice on a field trip.
All right. The old classic. I mean, that could be taken in any day, any year for decades. And
this could be anybody's photo. Yeah.
I think Hakeem would pick at the set of lines at the top. He'd be like, "You've got lines in your picture. I'm gonna have to give you a B+ for that."
I kind of vaguely remember this one. He come and he goes, "You see the wire growing across the top?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a rule of thirds." He's like, "It's boring." And he goes, "Do you see the waiters there on the left with their hands behind their back?" He goes, "Isn't that more interesting?" He goes, "Maybe zoom in on that more." And it was good input. I remember this photo for that because those three waiters there.
Yeah, I mean, I love going into the church. It's just the mosaics, the detail. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's an experience. But you have to. Oh,
there you go.
Christy Clegg, Robert Utterback. Ha.
And Mr. Goldstein on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrewski.
Yeah, that's Andrew. Yeah, so that's 88. Yeah, and she was literally in her hands was pigeon food. She was literally about to make it rain and get crazy. I think I missed the photo, but that's why she's doing what she's doing. She's got pigeon food in her hands.
She hasn't changed, and Robert, look at that, the Austin sisters, Christy and April, and
yeah.
Bottom left is that because I don't know. That could be Brian Jansen, could be Karen Jansen. I don't know.
It's a Jansen. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know.
Right.
I saw Brian Jansen. I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago. We went to a concert in Denver for U2, and he was working in a bar, so we went and hung out with him. And I mean, seriously, I hadn't seen him since high school. We picked up, like, as you guys know, and all brats know, you don't miss a beat. It's within seconds. You just picked up, like, you hit pause and hit play. Pretty cool.
I'll share you some pics of when I was in Rome with my wife, with him and my Italian friends. It was the best. It's just, I
can't wait to go on one of his trips. Yeah, Brian Jansen beer tours in Rome when COVID's over. There's a plug for
Yeah. I mentioned it in the Goldstein podcast. Just Italian microbrews are on a par with Italian food. It's like, oh, how obvious. Anyway, so you got Kyle Abbott, John Teska,
Lonnie Correa.
Yeah, Lonnie's hair.
Christy
Clegg. Really? Okay. Yeah.
That was before or after she threw all the bird seed up in the air.
That's funny. Michelle Ransom.
Yep.
Don't know who that is on the left. I barely know who that is. If I think I just don't have a name.
Yeah, my eyes aren't good enough. I can't tell.
All right. What?
There's only like 60 of these, so we're almost done.
Okay.
That's East Germany, so let me skip through all that. That's the Berlin Wall. That's my little sister in Bellagio upside down. I think the rest of this is, there we go. Yeah, I went on a trip to Germany, so this was 87. There is the old VHS.
Yeah, the old entrance.
And I think that's Christy Clegg again.
I don't know.
We took a lot of pictures together. I don't know. I just remember we took a lot of photos together. I think we had the same class. She's always funny. She cracked me up. I always thought she was funny.
I'm hoping to do a podcast with her real soon. Potentially 24 hours.
I think that's it. Sorry, folks. Hang on. Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Like those are kids in costumes? That's what the monkeys are?
That was the Berlin Zoo.
Hey. Okay, so that's Brian. Who is she?
It's his girlfriend from Brindisi. Because this is being recorded, I'm not going to comment further. No, we went on I don't know how, we were wrestling or something, and I think she was a Brindisi track girl, and I had met this girl, so we kind of hung out, and, you just take pictures, and I can't remember her name. She's really nice. But that was like 86. It was a long time ago. That was the person from Brindisi.
Okay.
Not sure who that is, but it's a really good photo.
Still trying to get credit in Hakeem's class.
Yeah. Mr. Hakeem, can I get that C? I'll get us up to a C.
Yeah, please.
It's a really good photo. Oh my gosh. I look so dorky and young. I thought camouflage pants looked cool.
She's up here in Maine, as last I recall.
Okay, yeah, she lived in Bellagio too.
Her and her sister Haley. But anyway, I know last thing I saw of her, she was at a rock and roll concert with Gina Valletta.
Because Gina and her were friends. Gina lived, they were all closer. So yeah.
Yeah, they came to Boston one time, and they were at a concert at the Blues Bar in Cambridge, Mass. And I just didn't have the time at the time, but it would have been nice to see them. Anyway, what do you got?
Mr. Hakeem, to say here, I obviously did something with my negative development that made it very bad. She's holding some magical light source, and then off to the left. So I did something wrong with my negative. There's another picture, but it's kind of cool to see what Mr. Hakeem's room used to look like back in the day.
Art, the art tray.
Yeah, I don't know if people remember that, but yeah.
Yeah, Kira would probably enjoy the flashback on this one, and April Buther.
Yeah, and again, sorry for my blobs and my negatives. So I didn't get an A for this, of course. That's grass, people, in case you wonder what that looks like.
Italian.
I don't know why there's trash there. I have no idea.
I'm guessing you're trying to run out of the film so you can develop the rest of them.
That might have been it, yeah. I don't know. This is Vicenza.
Yeah.
There's Monte Barrico.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's the view from kind of like behind Ben Terrell's house, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back before they put the new stuff there. Yeah, that is Chip Stanton's backyard, I believe.
It looks like a Villaggio.
Yeah, it's Villaggio for sure. That's the officer housing, kind of right over by where the old path to Stonga used to be. So that would have been kind of by Heather and Allison's house. Chip Stanton, Amanda Smith, kind of over there.
No, but Chip Stanton, his family wasn't in Villaggio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, you remember that pay stub? His dad signed my payroll.
Oh, I would have thought.
Yeah,
I thought they were civilian and they'd be out somewhere. But look at Jansen.
That's Chris Wayne in the right, and then of course Mr. Jansen in 1986, I believe.
Look at that young face.
Yeah.
All right. Heather.
That was in Venice on that tour of Mr. Hakeem, and she was standing there, and I was like, "Hey, you!" And she turned around, and she just kind of froze, and I just took a picture. I remember that very vividly. That was in Venice.
It's a good picture. It's funny too. It's just
yeah.
I mean, because we're trying to pull her into a podcast with a couple of friends, like a mini reunion, and it's great. I mean, she'll definitely watch this and be like, ah!
And there's that Camisado sweater from Italy. There's another good one, Mr. Borsos.
Yeah, I don't see much of him on social media, but no, I don't do anything. Sister Julia is on. She seems to have reached some new milestones, happy new home and stuff.
Now, do you notice a very rare background fuzzy James Graber to his right shoulder, our left?
Is that him? Oh, funny.
That is a rare glimpse of the JG. Yes.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah. There's Heather.
All right.
So for the record, I think Heather turned me down like a million times. Just saying. We were good friends, but I was always like, "Hey, you want to go out?" She's like, "No." Some fresco.
Yeah,
there's Anna Brown.
Nice.
And that's in Mr. Hakeem's class, I believe. Somebody's camera. Oh my gosh, there's my lifeguard friend. What you notice on the right, remember the hallway when Mr. Hakeem got the remodel?
Yeah, like the walkway.
It's stuff like that catches my eye a lot, you know? I don't know if you guys are like it, just because it's rare. You're like, oh yeah, it just flashes you back to what you remember. And then you read some of the stuff on the, that was taped up, recycle. I mean, there it was, 1988, and we were still talking about recycling. I mean, that's pretty progressive back then, if you think about it.
Yeah. That
Sammy Bagwell, yeah.
Yeah, don't see much of him out there. I've seen his brother out there.
Another Hakeem classroom shot.
Yeah. Those must be your negatives. T-bar. No, is that a Palma lift or a T-bar? Palma.
Palma.
It's a Palma.
Yeah, I think that's Cortina D'Ampezzo, and that's Steven Studman, one of the soldiers I was friends with.
Okay.
And I think by the end of the day, we were in shorts.
Nice.
It was crazy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Lenny was talking about the T-bar and the Palma lift on a different podcast. But yeah. Well, this looks like snow before. Yeah, we didn't. I don't think Italy gets that kind of snow much anymore. But
yeah. I think that's it. That's all I have.
Nice.
So I'll stop sharing.
Nice.
Sorry for the long slideshow, but hopefully for some of you that was really enjoyable.
Exactly. I think it's all good. So cool. So you're planning on heading back when COVID ends. That's on your agenda.
Yeah, I have a minor in biology. I think, just like we put on helmets and seatbelts, we should put on masks. It's not a political thing at all. COVID doesn't vote, so that's my opinion. You're allowed to your own opinion. That's fine. Stay at home if you don't want to wear one.
Yeah.
No, at least here in Idaho, in Ada County, it's mandated. So you have to. You'll get a ticket, and they're pretty serious.
What are you doing tomorrow? You're heading out in the crack of dawn here, actually. It's like 1:30 in the morning here, Boston.
Yeah, so what is it? So that we're 2 hours behind, so it's 11. Yeah, I got to get about 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to go up a place called Tamarack, Idaho, outside of Cascades, about 7 miles from here. And then I'm going to go paddleboarding, fishing, and then there's some property I have up there, so checking that out.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just woods, so it's not exciting.
That's good. No, it's great. So, we can wrap up here for this podcast, but what I'm imagining going on is there's likely, I know there's some themes and little projects that would be fun. So, for example, try to bring people together that haven't seen each other in a while. So some like mini reunions, and try to collect those thoughts on what we remember. And also remember, like, there's folks out there that have great memories to you, and to what what Italy meant to them, and it's just like we're all talking the same language. But I also think I'm going to try to. I have to figure it out, but I want to try to do like a collage or something for in regards to the coaches of Vicenza, even if it's centered around only a few of them or whatever. But everybody's got stories from many years. I mean, those Drak, my father, Mr. Pellerito, as examples, they've been around. They were around forever, and the memories that a lot of us have span many years. So instead of like,
Johnny, the list goes on.
Yeah.
It's and the thing about that, it was how it was. School would end, and it was a little bit of a chance to be social. You could see your friends, you could see who you were trying to go out with or whatever, and then you do your practice, and then there was some hang time after. So it was a special time. And then when you traveled to these places, Naples, and you got to do things. It was more than just the sports. It was it was just magical. I really, really feel lucky. I wish I could go back and smack myself and say, take more out of this.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And you make a good
I'd love
point.
to participate. I've got some photos, so.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, happy to come on more and share more. This is just, a starting point. My brother kind of kicked this off, and it seems to be something people are happy to be a part of. Even some of these that are an hour and a half long or whatever.
Oh gosh, we've been going for a while. Yeah.
No,
geez.
I don't even know how long we've been going, but some of them are up around an hour and a half. I talked to the Goldsteins for an hour and a half, and it was like 10 minutes, and we covered so little in so many different ways. And it's the same point. Like, how do you prep for this? Remember remember what do you want to remember? You remember everything you want. So, but anyway.
I did appreciate that. Admittedly, I haven't watched 1, 2, and 3. Work's been crazy, but I did watch 4, and I didn't watch all of it. I'm gonna finish it, but I watched quite a bit of it, to enough to where, wow, you guys were talking about the theater and Burger King, and it's hitting on everything.
Yeah. Remember, we'd go to Burger King like it was going out of style. It just was like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's it. What was I thinking here? You just hit something there. Concerts. You went to concerts as well. Tell me about your concerts. What were your favorite, like, would you go to Metallica, Battle of the Bands, or what? Rock, Monsters of Rock?
Oh, this could be an expose. This might be a good time to stop this interview.
You never went to those concerts? You were at home sleeping?
I think people thought I partied a lot harder than I really did. I had a pretty big party image. I spent a lot of time at home with Bellagio on my Commodore 64 learning the program. The concert I went to, Stinker, I think you did this on purpose. So I was mad at Mr. Ritchie. He wouldn't let me start. And I'm like, I've been playing for you for 2 years. Yeah, I've been a backup, but I've played blah, 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 and I've never been scored on. I was never scored on as a goalie. He's like, yeah, that's fine, but Brian Lusty, I like him better, and you broke that kid's leg in Aviano, so you're going to be a backup. And he was being honest with me. And he just didn't like my style of play. And he was, I was an American rough football guy, rugby-ish. He was more finesse and style. So, tons of respect to Mr. Ritchie. In fact, I got a degree in biology, so I was inspired by him a little bit in that way. But at that point, I was mad at him. So the bus showed up in Bellagio at the pool at 4 a.m. to go to Rome for finals. And I didn't get on the bus. If you remember, you guys sat there waiting for me. I just slept in. I turned my alarm off. The next day, I went with Becky Matson and Amanda Terrell to the George Michael Faith concert in Verona.
Excellent. I can see Becky Matson watching this, cracking up like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first concert I'd ever been to ever.
Was it a good concert?
No, it was scary. I remember we were up against a rail, and Becky wasn't as big as I was a big guy, and she was normal size, and so was Amanda. They were pushing against them, and they were getting like really hurt. And I was trying to hold the crowd, and it was like scary. And we got through it, but they were they moved, and there were metal bars. So Becky and Amanda were up against the metal bars. I was getting pushed into them. And it was really scary. And I remember just trying to hold off. And I remember I couldn't hold very long. We got around it. And then it got calm. But it was a little scary. I mean, you're Italian, you're 16, so whatever. Yeah, that was my first concert. So,
nice.
Yeah, Mrs. Ritchie was pissed at me. I mean, I deserved it. I should have walked down and said I wasn't. I made you guys wait. Yeah, I was so sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me.
Let bygones be bygones.
And then your dad was like, that's okay. You can throw the shot put.
Yeah. You always had a place for everybody on the track team. It didn't matter who you were, how you walked, what you did. You found a place for you on the track team. You had to translate.
And he got into everyone's sport, which I like. When they were running, he'd get into Willie Ellis, and the whole team needed to get into it. And, Chris Lane's throwing the distance. Everybody get into it. He was really good trying to wield the team to get behind the athlete, which I appreciated.
You know what? Now that you say that, and it's funny when we say wrapping these things up that they go on for another 20 minutes, which is fine. But I'm going to share something with you that you may have not seen. And I don't know how well this will render. Hold on. Let me
turn my phone in. Yeah, I'm out of the other. Yeah, I can see on my phone.
All right. I'm going to try to, hold on a sec, do a little toggle and screen share. I think it's my turn right now. Share screen. People get to watch my techno savvy and say, oh, even people like you who work in tech have problems with tech. Excellent. All right. Tell me if this comes through. I don't know, the audio might come through too, but here we go.
Schools in Italy Track and Field Championships is over for this year. For 2 days, high school athletes from all over Italy, as well as Vicenza, gave 100% of themselves, like Rick Magno of Vicenza, topping the pole vault at 10 feet. It would be impossible to talk about all the girls and boys who participated in all the events and to talk about how they did and how they felt about taking part in a country such as this. But let's look at one of those high schoolers, a fellow by the name of David Richmond from Vicenza. We focus on him at the end of the season because he was named the competition's most outstanding male athlete. This is a title he had to work hard for both of the days of the competition. Dave took first place in the 100 meters against tough competition, the 200 meters, the 300-meter high hurdles, the 400-meter race, and even the long jump. Dave says, however, that he approaches training for the competition and even the meet itself with a very good, positive attitude.
I like the friendship, after you win.
Oh, my God.
We all have a great time. Like, suppose in football, if you lose, you feel really bad. But in track and field, if you lose, as long as you know you gave it your best, then you still have a good time.
David Richmond, Vicenza High School speedster, setting his sights on college and perhaps continuing his winning ways. For SEB Sports, I'm Jay Coyne reporting.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for, to be honest, but hold on a second.
I played with Dave. I competed against him, and I lived across the street from him. His character was like that on the field, off the field. He really was and it still is. I mean, don't mean to speak negative, past wise is what I'm saying. But he was always a great guy. I'm not in touch with him, but his character was just always like that. And I kind of miss losing touch with him. That'd be one reason to keep going on the podcast to get reconnected, man. I think he's in Seattle, isn't he?
He might be, or he might be down in Texas. I'm trying to get a hold of him. I put the word out to Marcus Leonard and Willie Ellis. Usually Dave gets right back to me, but I've lost touch in the past year or so. But he's come up here. We've hung out. I enjoyed introducing him to my son. But here's the one I wanted to share. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it looks like Vicenza.
It is.
Home meet. Yeah, home meet.
I think Willie Ellis is in it.
Oh, nobody could catch Willie, man. That dude was so fast.
Listen to the who's talking on it, though. Wait. You're going to start directing.
First ball for the men's triple jump. First ball for the men's shot put.
Classic VHS recording. Grateful for the summers for recording these, though. They're priceless. Jesus.
Oh, this was Colonel Summers. Yeah, he was always providing film for everybody, which was really helpful. Yeah, man, he's like freaking a gazelle. That dude was so fast. I remember in football, if you could get a sweep out and you could get the blocks off, and he could clear the angle on a block, he was gone. Yeah, there's your dad.
That was very pretty, wasn't it?
There's Bob.
I'll see you down the
We're gonna boogie down at the club.
He's so happy.
Oh, Mr. Summers.
What a jump.
He had so much fun. He was so much fun. My dad in his Boston accent. Charlie.
Hey, is that Ty, Ron? Is that Ty?
Yeah.
Yeah, behind him? Wow.
Yeah. I got beat up. His wrist, his elbow.
Oh, yeah. He broke his wrist or something.
Curtis.
Wow. There's Curtis. Oh, my God. Curtis Heron. Wow.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Little memory lane there. Another one of our websites. Oh, man, there's us volleyball. Woohoo! Wow. I'm going to put that on while we're here. Just because we're cool.
You know, he always wore shorts. He didn't have pants on when he did that.
This guy?
Yeah, I did most of the camera work for these guys.
I know. I worked in the radio.
Yeah, you know these guys. It was so funny. Yeah, I have some. Well, I'll dig up some video. I found a box. I'll get some more stuff, and maybe I can shoot you an email or whatever. We can do it again and share some more stuff or more content.
It's so funny. We were so good. I'm gonna get Ricky Ortiz on here. We'll go back. I got to get a little volleyball team reunion of some kind. We had such a good time in volleyball, and we got to travel with the girls. So, while you smelly football players got to hang with each other, we were with the nice smelling bus back and forth wherever the trips were.
Yeah, it was
good times.
We're just good times. Good times.
All right, Danny.
All right, man.
Get some sleep. Thanks for coming on. We'll be in touch for the next few, and have a good time fishing.
Yeah, take care and go Cougars.
All right, bud. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.